Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry.
And welcome back to the Slow News Podcast.
Yeah, no news.
We are the podcast that only exists because there is, checking my notes here, yet again, no news.
January
no news
6th,
to report.
2021.
Not a single thing to report, and so therefore you and I can continually, in good conscience, just talk about bullshit.
Just bullshit it up. There's nothing going on January 6th, 2021.
2021. But we are certainly back. I think that you and I we talked last after. Actually, this is the first. I think this is the first pod of the new year. Is it not, or am I?
Yeah, it's the 6th. We record every 7 days, I think. Did we record on New Year's Eve?
I don't think we did. When was the last time we recorded?
Today's Wednesday, right?
Today is Wednesday.
We recorded last Wednesday. I don't know.
Okay, I guess we recorded on New Year's Eve.
I guess we recorded
that, but
New Year's Eve, we didn't even think about it. No, you know what it was? It was on the 30th which would be 7 days ago.
Uh-huh.
It was on the 30th because I remember
yes.
when I was editing it, you said, this will be the first pod of the new year.
Oh no.
Depending on when this comes out. And I was editing on the 31st and was like, you done played yourself. That's where you messed up.
Well, then this is this whole ploy. Sam and I rehearsed this earlier, and that was so that I could correct myself and say that this is the first pod of the new year. Welcome to the new year. Everything has changed.
Everything is better, probably.
Everything is better. We are in the age of Aquarius, but that happened much longer before. Happened sometime in December. So.
No, wait. I thought that was in the 60s. There's that whole song about it.
No, it wasn't. Believe it or not.
They wrote about 2020.
I think it was about 2020, and I think maybe the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Maybe that just sounded better than the age of whatever it was in. You know,
Scorpio or something.
Scorpio, yeah. Let me look up Age of Aquarius and see if we've got in here.
You know, we just had Jupiter and Saturn.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at. Okay,
it's
so
always,
what it's saying here is the Age of Aquarius is in 2021, but I am getting this information from wellandgood.com, so I don't really know.
It's like Mercury in retrograde. Like, it's just like there's always something that people can point to and they'll be like, this is what it is. It's like, you know what I mean? Like there's always. I
don't want to lose our viewers, you know, in California or whomever, because, you know.
Are you suggesting that Aaron and Nick Carter and Shaq are very into astrology?
I mean, possibly. I wouldn't put it past Nick specifically.
Okay. Well, shout out to you, Nick.
Shout out to Nick. Thank you once again for listening to the pod.
Probably
and
a
it
Gemini.
says here that the ages. Oh, goodness. It says astrologers maintain that an astrological age is a product of the Earth's slow precessional rotation and lasts for. Okay, how long do you think an age lasts? How long do you think?
I think I know this. I know that an age is smaller than an era, and I think an era is, I don't know, like 100,000 years. So is an age
100,000 years?
It's not 100,000 years?
No.
An era is not? Okay. Then I'm going to say, well, then that kind of throws me. I'm going to say an age is 10,000 years.
Well, no, this is not necessary. This is an age. This is a astrological age, so it's different.
I got no fucking clue.
I'll cut you off the line here. Yeah, it is 2,160 years.
2,160 years. So wait, that would mean the last age started in...
I think before we were born.
Well, yes, certainly, bud. 2,160 years ago. But that would make it... BC 140, which was the rise of Julius Caesar?
I guess so. Oh no!
Wait, really? 140?
No, I have no idea. You would know more about that than I do.
Actually, I think 140. I should know
more about that.
It was either the first oh my god! So I don't use this computer anymore because I got a new computer. I just use it for the podcast, and I was like, let me scroll.
Show off.
Yeah, I know, right? Let me scroll over to to Chrome, and when I flipped over to Chrome, it literally was just Frank Dux' Twitter. That's the last thing that was, and an article
well,
from
that's
Black
good.
Belt
That was
Magazine.
that was what I was searching and planning on discussing. So.
Okay, the year is 2021. Yes, minus 2,160 is negative 139. So 139 BC was a year of the pre-Julian calendar.
Okay. Unfortunately, what I have just found out is that the age of Aquarius and / astrological ages in its entirety is this is similar to is similar to doomsday predictions.
In that it's always changing?
In that I pulled it up, and the first thing I saw was several different interpretations of when the age of Aquarius begins.
So maybe that was what the song
Pisces ends. It says that Patrick Burlingame interprets that it ended in 1994. Others say it ended in 2012, because that would kind of make a little bit more sense.
Sure.
1989. Nothing. I feel like everyone is at the very least very cool with the fact that it did not begin in 1967 when the song Age of Aquarius came out.
I would also like to circle back that all of the things that I thought it was not. The Maccabean Revolt was in 166, and Julius Caesar died in I already closed it, but I think not in 44. 40 or 44.
Well, I mean, like what's like 100? What's like 80 years? In history.
I think off the top of my head, I was pretty fucking close. Like I was within 100 years.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that
within 20 years from the Maccabean Revolt.
And nothing else was really going on. So they probably still were thinking about that.
I swear there's something in 134. I really, or 139. I really feel like something happened then. Anyway,
I'm learning here that it doesn't necessarily matter because people have different interpretations, and I'm not seeing on this Wikipedia, which is the source of all wisdom on these things, I'm not seeing a lot of people thinking that the age of Aquarius began in 2020, apart from, and as I'd said momentarily, wellandgood.com.
Got it. Now, what were those dates for the day that it might have started?
The day that it might have started?
Oh, yeah, give me some of those.
Samuel,
2012?
2012 is when it might have started. There's every single person here has a different interpretation.
Got it. Is there a 1993 in there?
There is not, but there is a 1994.
Okay, I'm going to say that is close enough.
Yeah.
Because if it was in 1993 or 4. I guess if it was 1993, but it's just budget. Then, if the Age of Aquarius started in 1993, then that would mean that the age before, for clarity, what was the age before the Age of Aquarius?
It appears to be the Age of Pisces.
Okay, then that would mean the Age of Pisces began with the Maccabean Revolt and the first Jewish independence.
Oh my god!
And I'm sure that I can tie that into Pisces somehow. Something
classic
fish.
Pisces.
Something
Pisces are
fish.
always doing
I can tie this in. I don't know how that's related to
my roommate in college was a Pisces, and
which roommate?
I swear he would have done that.
Which roommate in college?
Full on. It was Trevor, my roommate that you didn't know.
Oh, I met Trevor once or twice.
Oh yeah,
that was freshman year, right?
Freshman
year, that was your roommate.
That was sophomore year, but that's neither here nor there. What does matter is that he was always the kind of guy that was trying to do revolts.
That's where we get Hanukkah. From the Maccabees.
Okay. Oh, and presumably from all of these Pisces. They're always doing that.
Should we move on?
Anything else to talk about? With this, I really feel like I'm kind of drained at the well when it comes to something I know literally nothing about.
But I got nothing this week. Is this just a Zibba Zabba week? I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I certainly have nothing this week, and this might be. Ooh, this could be everyone seeing into what would constitute as a pile episode, but those are well and gone.
This
forever.
is welcome to the pile 2 because episode 12 is also welcome to the pile. This is welcome to the pylon. Welcome to the pile 2 pylon.
Oh yeah, we should have done a best of pile, and then we would have put that out, and that would
that would take me an incredible amount of work.
Yeah, exactly, and it would all be pile stuff.
Yeah,
so
it'd be the one story about you sneaking out of that girl's house that maybe or maybe not made it into the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And my feud with J. Cole. That would pretty much be what made it.
Yeah.
Everything else,
if I remember, your feud with J. Cole, that was about 38 minutes. So
it was most of an episode.
Yeah, that would constitute the primarily of an episode.
The thing is, people play basketball on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You do not play it on Friday. Why is it called Friday Night Lights? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It should be called The Blow Up. It's crazy. His first album should have been called Friday Night Lights. I mean, it shouldn't have been called Friday Night Lights, but like, if you're going to call it Friday Night Lights, call your first album Friday Night Lights. If you're going to do 3 mixtapes, just do the come up, the warm up, and the blow up. That makes sense. And this gets to a larger point, which is that I think naming conventions, I think people are intentionally like fucking with the public because as documented before, the J. Cole thing about how his inscrutably named mixtapes, the come up, the warm up, I think I have those mixed up. I think it's the warm up, the come up, Friday Night Lights, featuring the song The Blow Up, which is an insane way to title your mixtapes. And then there's the Microsoft operating systems, which are like 1, 2, 3, X, ZE, 1998, 2000, 10. It's like this ridiculous system that doesn't make sense. Then Microsoft also made the Xbox, which is the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, with its companion, the Xbox Series S. 2 letters that could not sound more similar. Apple also does this, where they do numbers for all the iPhones, and then they're like 8, and then the next year, it's 10, spelled with an X, and then also there's an 11 with a Series X and a Series S, and I feel like these people are intentionally fucking with me by having the worst naming conventions in the world. This is what the pile sounds like, guys.
Yeah, so while you were talking about that, I was going on to Frank Dux' Twitter because that is what we promised the audience that we would talk about in this week. And I did want to say that in light of the events of today, in light of the no events that happened today, you would think that Frank Dux would have something to say on the subject. However, he did not. Sure. He has been very, very cool and calm when it comes to anything going on in Washington, D.C. or any other random city.
Hypothetically, because in the future, they don't know what exactly is happening today. Hypothetically, a bunch of armed Trump supporters stormed into the Capitol and one got shot to death by the police because they were trying to literally overthrow the government and keep Biden from being elected, which is unprecedented insanity since the Civil War. If hypothetically that was happening, you'd think our main man, Frank Dux, might have something to say about it.
Yeah. And his overly, his view of what it means to be a patriot and not taking any guff from no one and having your own sort of moral compass as the thing that is guiding you. You'd think that this would be right in his wheelhouse of things to talk about. However, no, he's been relatively silent on Twitter. I mean, he's been saying things on Twitter,
sure, of course,
but not as of late. It's mostly things that are about him, which is great. And so, from our research, very briefly, Sam and I learned that Frank Dux has his own dojo that I cannot pronounce, and it is called the Dux Ryu International. I believe that is how it's pronounced.
Oh, yeah.
And there is a website. So if you, the listener, wants to pull your car over or stop doing dishes or whatever you do while you're listening to this show, I imagine when you're listening to the Frank Dux sections, you are just endlessly doing push-ups.
Sure. Getting so strong.
Exactly. That is what I am doing. As Sam is talking, I'm doing push-ups.
Sure,
and I imagine in this moment, Sam is also doing push-ups. But
1,000. Yes, I was doing push-ups.
Oh my gosh.
I'm very strong.
Yeah, so if you want to hop on over to duxryu.com, you're going to see number one, what appears to be some sort of Pegasus, that
Sure.
is the moniker of Frank, and underneath that you will see a slogan that says "Blood makes us related, loyalty makes us family," which I think is a rejected line, or quite possibly even more likely a stolen line from the
Sure.
Fast and Furious franchise.
Almost
And
definitely.
you'll see that. And one of the first things that you will notice is that the entirety of the website is in Spanish,
Mm.
which I don't quite understand all that much. And I did not put in the time to look up any of the definitions or like look up any of the the translations, because that would be me giving Frank too much of my time. And what I can only assume is just talking about how great Frank is. And yeah, so what I was trying to do was from this website, I was trying to assert or discern with discern
You got there.
Deniscerturn.
Dennis return.
I was trying to Deniscerturn where Frank Dux's dojo is, and I think it is in Las Vegas. However, according to this, it is closed down permanently.
Mm.
So I'm thinking that possibly you and I missed our chance to do the conclusion of this bit, which is going all the way to meet Frank Dux and then asking him about all of his amazing and
God,
wonderful
I just want to talk
adventures.
to him forever. Yeah, I do just want to know everything about everything. I mean, I don't care if he's lying. I would love to just sit for hours with Frank Dux and listen to him explain things to me about the CIA and about what he did and who fucking Fish is. I mean, I don't want to spoil the book, but at the same time,
of course.
I
And I
do
think
wanna
and I think
know.
by the end we will know who Fish is and whether or not the fish is dead.
Oh
But
no, there's got to be a to be continued.
I don't think so, because I mean, I think this is like otherwise. If it was a to be continued, then the Secret Man would just be over. You know, like there would like
No, like he's gonna
he.
get to the end and then be like, and that's how I killed Fish. Or did I? Be like, or maybe it's like at the end of like a scary movie where it's like Freddy comes up and it's like he's not really dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but I think that it would happen where he would die, because otherwise he would still be doing Secret Man stuff. You
Sure.
know, like he would still be Secret Man in and around.
Who says he's
Um,
not?
That's true. That's very true. I will say that he is currently on Twitter. And a couple of things that Sam and I did discuss from the Twitter is that he does quite frequently reference his own movie Bloodsport.
Sure.
And there's a lot of there are a lot of text, or not text, pictures that say "Did you know?" and it'll be a little "Did you know?" on it, and it will have little factoids about Frank Dux, and more specifically about him doing the him writing Bloodsport and how Bloodsport is about him, and
And how it's actually
one,
really good and true and good.
yeah, and one thing that I did want to bring up is that according to this, it says in Bloodsport, a beautiful and intrepid reporter named Janice Kent, played by actress Lee Ayers, falls in love with Frank Dux while working in a note about his clandestine fighting event. In real life, Frank Dux is married to a beautiful and intrepid reporter named Saria Dux. I think that is wild that he is married to a reporter, given all of the things that has happened to him.
It honestly, it makes her credentials seem a little like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know that, like, come on, you're a reporter.
Yeah, you have to. They're the journalistic integrity behind it, but I don't know exactly when they got married.
He
Maybe
dressed
that,
like Mario.
But then
Are
again,
you for
either
real?
a that questions her credentials as a reporter, or it
Bolsters his.
it bolsters his, because you know that's why you can tell when he's writing this, the details just leap off the page, because you're just like, wow, someone else must have written this, or someone with like an amazing background in reporting must have like helped you out with this.
Yeah.
And there it is. There is a section when they said originally Frank Dux was going to be played by a different actor, but he was 5'6", and he was not allowed to play Frank Dux because Frank Dux is 6'2".
Oh my god.
However, Jean-Claude Van Damme is 5'9", and he does he does bring that up in this post here. He does bring up that Frank he is 6'2", and Jean-Claude Van Damme is 5'9". He does bring that. He does.
Okay, there's a 0% chance that he's 6'2", but also, we can talk. I mean, if Jean-Claude Van Damme is 5'9", then that means that he's in line for some, I would say, significant compensation from the biggest brain boy on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I do not know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I believe you do know what I'm talking about. I sent you the most dipshit galaxy brain post I have ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a man who made a chart.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know if he made the chart.
Yeah, everyone, welcome to Put It On My Tab, where Sam and I talk about the most amazing things that we find on the internet. And
absolutely wild.
Gentlemen, start your tabs.
And in this episode of Put It On My Tab, this is actually one that Sam and I had discussed previously before this. We had texted about it, so this is the first time we've ever been able to speak about it. But on this episode of Put It On My Tab, we have someone by the name of Rob Henderson, and his Twitter handle is @RobKHenderson. And I will. Do you have the tweet pulled up, Sam, or would you like me to read it?
I'm pulling it up now.
Okay, well, as you're pulling it up, I am going to read the tweet in question that Sam sent me. A man who is 5 feet 6 inches tall needs to earn an additional $175,000 per year to be as desirable as a man who is about 6 feet tall. A 6'2" man can earn $30,000 less than a 6 foot man and will be viewed as equally desirable.
Okay,
and that is paired with something called it is clearly something that has been pulled from what looks to be an academic journal, when we know in our hearts that this is not an academic journal. And it says
no, it's from the University of Chicago.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's a real ass paper. You can click on it. Graduate student of business, graduate Department of Economics, Sloan.
Oh, good
School
Lord!
I
did not know about this at all.
A guy at MIT and 2 guys at the university. I assume they're men, actually. Yeah, Dan, Gunter, and Ali. Those are probably all men.
Dan, Gunter, and Ali. Those are some the three musketeers of misogyny.
So Gunter, Ali, and Dan, from University of Chicago, and MIT, respectively, wrote a paper called "What Makes You Click? Mate Preferences and Matching Outcomes in Online Dating." And could you describe the one of many charts that was in the initial tweet?
So here we have table 5.5, height/income trade-offs. And it has 3 columns: height, additional income needed by men, additional income needed by women. And this is it is measured per $1,000. So for a 5 foot tall man, he needs to earn a $317,000 more than that of I believe it's a 6 foot man. I think is the marker that he's using here. A 5'2" needs to earn $269,000, and it moves so on and so forth in gigantic numbers up until you get to 6 foot. So
6
it
foot is where it's at.
No, I think 5'11". 5'11" must be the point where it is. It must be like the point of origin. Because when you get to 6 foot, it is negative $8,000. So it is $8,000 less than a 5'11". And then there is a massive jump. A 6'2" man needs to earn $30,000 less. 6'4", $51,000, and then 6'6" up to 6'10" is $63,000 less.
Which, to be fair, the baseline for all these studies is he is assuming a baseline of $62,000 a year, 62.5,
yes.
Meaning that he believes, or this paper, this paper, and I'll explain where the paper comes from, believes that if you are 6'6" or higher, you literally don't need any money to be attractive to women. And before you get on me, Twitter, here's the thing. I'm not framing it this way as a competition for women's affection between how much money you have and how tall you are, because that is an insane way to think of it. But this is how it is framed. It's saying that, well, if you're short, you need to at least be rich. And if you're tall, you can be poor. Because those are the things women care about. It's wild.
It is certainly wild. And it gets even wilder because, as I had said a moment ago, there is another chart.
5'6"?
It is the additional income needed by women.
Oh my God, that's so funny. This part's so funny.
Yeah, so it is additional income needed by women. And I'm assuming that this is how much, I don't really know exactly. Can you help me understand this? Because I don't really know exactly who are the women getting income based on? Are they getting income based on the man or women of a different height?
I believe from what I understand, so the idea being that shorter women are more ideal for men.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't need to keep stating this, but just for the record, one last time, I think this is all very silly. But this is the premise of the paper.
Wait. I understand.
The women,
in order to be desirable, in order to be desirable as a woman who is this is based on how much money you need to make per man who is 5'11".
Correct. So a woman who is 5 foot tall can make $43,000 less than $62,000. So if she makes $62,000, she can make 43 less. Let's just round that. So let's say she can make $20,000 a year and be attractive to men.
Yeah. Yes. And so it continues from here, and it goes negative 43,000, and then negative 43,000 for a 5'2" woman.
Yes.
Negative 34 for a 5'4", which is kind of bonkers.
Yep.
And at 5'6", which I would say is the average height
of a woman, at least an American woman.
If I were to say most of the women I have met, and this is anecdotal evidence, of course, but I would say 5'6" and taller is it is very rare that I meet someone who is 5 foot or shorter and am like, whoa.
I will say a quick Google. The average height of women 20 years old and up in America is 5'4".
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we're moving on here to 5'6", and 5'6" is $16,000.
So she needs to make an additional $16,000 to be attractive.
Yeah, an additional $16,000.
And
then when we get to 5'8", all the way through 6'10", we are met with not a number, but a text block that says not feasible.
Which I'm led to believe means that a woman who is 5'8", no matter how much money she makes, could not be attractive. It's impossible. Yeah.
If a woman is 6'2" and is is Jeff Bezos, gender swap Jeff Bezos, too bad. That is too bad. It is not feasible.
If she is over 5'8",
the data is inconclusive.
So that's a great transition, because I would like to point your attention to, and you can click on the link actually in that tweet. I would like to point you to page 47, which is table 5.4.
Oh goodness!
Which is the 1 out of 10 scale. So
no, I got to make my way. This is page 47.
Page 47. It should open a new tab. You can just type 47 into that top little bit.
Why am I so dumb?
Playing along at home. I also didn't do that, but I had to scroll all the way to the bottom to find it.
Oh boy, here we go.
And then I'll let you take 5'6", but 5'4" is also funny. So 5'4" is like a 1 out of 10 scale. So if you are a 1 out of 10 as a man, you need to, if you're a 10 out of 10, you need to make Yep.
Holy shit.
So funny. So if you're a 10 out of 10 as a man, you need to make 0 extra.
No
so
money.
You need to make $62,000 and you're square. So as far as attractiveness, also I don't know how these concatenate. Like, what if you're a 10 out of 10 but you're 5'2"? Like what? Anyway. So if you're a 10 out of 10, you need to make 0, meaning $62,000. Oh, I'm seeing here $42,000 for a woman. So a 5-foot woman needs to make $0.
Good.
Because it's negative 43. So a 5-foot woman needs to make $0.
Now, this is an interesting point, because they are scientifically quantifying the first, second, third in the decibels. They are quantifying what it means to be a 1 through a 10. And that is some incel shit if I have ever seen it.
It is race science, and there is more race science phrenology, weird incel skull shapes. So to give these guys just a modicum of credit, where they have gotten this data is from online dating sites. So I haven't read the abstract. But what they've done, I believe, is they've pulled a bunch of data and from surveys from from various online dating sites. So I believe, I've never done online dating, but I would guess there is some sort of looks rating at some point. So probably on the back end, everyone has a score out of 10. That's my guess. And so they pulled from that data. How they got the numbers for the dollar amounts, I actually don't know. Maybe again, it's part of the survey to be like, okay, this person is, what would you rate them on attractiveness? And then how much money till you found them attractive? I have no idea. Again, I'll read the abstract, I guess. Didn't know we'd be talking about this. It was just some bullshit I sent you. But back to the charts. But I believe how they got the numbers is they surveys on online dating sites. So if you are 1 out of 10 as a man, you have to earn an extra $186,000. So that would be, quick math, $240,000 a year to be attractive to a woman. Now, all the way at the bottom, the 10 out of 10, 0. So you just need to earn $62,000. Hopefully you're 6 foot tall and you're square.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And it goes from there, whatever. It goes 0, 25, 35, 86. We're here for the main event. If you are a woman who is 10 out of 10, you need to make $0 extra to be attractive to men. So it's $42,000, 42.5. So 42,500. Now, 1 through 9, it does say that it's not feasible.
Not feasible. Yet again, not feasible.
I think what they're saying in that is that if you are not a 10 out of 10, it is impossible for men to find you attractive no matter how much money you make. Which is fucking
which is
wild
hilarious
thing to
in
say.
that it goes all the way up to 9 and 8. And I'm not I am not a man that judges women by scale because I'm not a teenager.
Insane.
Less am I a dude that was born out of the hate groups of the internet.
Sure.
However, even if I was,
but if they perceive them as a 9 out of 10, that is the idea that you're like, how attractive is this person out of 10? And you're like 9. They're almost perfect, but not quite. But they're really, really close to perfect. Oh, do you find them attractive? Not at all. What? Then how did they get a 9? What are you talking about?
Not even a little bit. What if they had $1 billion? Well, that's too bad, Sparky. I am not going to date them, even if they had the antidote to the poison that is in my veins.
No.
I am 0% chance on that. Perfect 10s for this incel only.
So more incel race science, or skull phrenology is what I'm thinking of. Table 5.6, ethnicity income trade-off. If you are needed by white. Oh, it's I see. It's a table. So white women need $0 extra to be found attractive by. I'm sorry. White men need $0 extra to be found attractive by white women, but they do need $220,000 extra to be found attractive by black women, which again is $280,000. Hispanic women, it would be 59, which is $110,000 a year. No, I'm sorry, $120,000 a year, give or take. And for Asian women, white men need to make $40,000 a year to be found attractive. This shit is fucking bonkers. Now,
yes.
Again, lots of not fees. Wait a minute. Additional income needed by white women to be found attractive. White men, 0. Black men, not feasible. Hispanic men, not feasible.
Not feasible.
Asian men, not feasible.
Feasible.
In fact, all the numbers are either 0 or not feasible. Except Asian men need negative $43,000, so around $20,000 to be found attractive by Hispanic women. This shit is so fucking weird and wild.
Yeah, this I cannot
This came out in 2006.
think of how this
I don't know if
data
I've
was
mentioned
obtained.
that.
And also, the one thing that I think is very funny is Asian men needed to be attracted by black women. There isn't a 0 or a not feasible. There's just a dash.
Like, what is that? Maybe it's
and there's a couple of dashes interspliced without, and it is all about Asian men, specifically with black women and Hispanic women.
Yeah.
And it seems to be like one like middle finger, like how dare you even ask this question?
It's very
like
confusing.
sort of, or like they just forgot to plug in the data. But I can't imagine that's the case because this is on the University of Chicago EDU's website.
Yeah, it's like a real ass paper. It is very weird.
This is incredibly weird. And once again, that Twitter handle is Rob K. Henderson, and
who's not one of the authors of the paper. He was
not
just
one of the
like
authors of the paper, just some poor soul that found it in the gutters of a 4chan forum. And he tweets upon his own tweet, and he says, "If you're interested in human nature, check out my newsletter," which obviously I'm going to. And he has things about sex ratios, Tinder, and social class, as well as height premiums and the beauty bias, which is
height premium is so weird. That's some phrenology shit. That's so weird.
I genuinely cannot understand. Yeah, this is like I think I've expressed told this in the thing before, but I don't want to get into it all that much because of how dark and disturbing I think it is. But there is this incel sort of like standards of beauty, and it is the most hate-filled thing in the entire world.
Have you seen the ContraPoints video on incels?
I have not.
I tell you to keep watching ContraPoints, man. Her video's so good.
I know. I'll get to them eventually. I'm knee deep in just rewatching old Star Wars fan theories.
Podcast is canceled.
Oh no.
Space Wizard movie. Find something else. Look, being too into Star Wars is like being too into Harry Potter. Like, there's other shit out there. You can just go read a different book.
There's other
or watch
shit.
A
There's
different
radical
movie.
left shit. That's the cool shit.
You know what? I spend all my stupid time reading about the CIA and QAnon, but it is still a better use of my time than trying to figure out, like,
you're just a CIA.
Which color my
anti-CIA
lightsaber would
fanboy.
be. I'm not, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, the rest of the charts are pretty normal. I mean, they're normal in that they're like body mass index. The money thing is really what blew up. What I think is so weird about Rob Henderson's tweet is that I don't know. Maybe there's a grift in here, right? Like, he's selling something somewhere.
He's gotta be.
He
has a website.
Oh, I fucking bet he does.
Yeah,
anyway, that's all I've got. That's all I have for you.
Yeah, well, actually,
just a lot of watching the news.
Well, the thing about this is actually kind of a more interesting sort of just change up on the forum. But actually, this week I got a phone call from NBC.
Shit.
Which is like, not terribly normal, but
you betrayed me.
Yeah, I guess but I mean, like, maybe they couldn't reach you. Maybe, the phone lines were down, other sort of Nashville things. And so they reached out to me, and they sent me the show, and it was a show I'd actually heard of before. And I think it's one that it's strange that we haven't talked about it yet. And that is the show Cavemen.
Of course.
So Cavemen is an American sitcom that actually, oh no.
If hypothetically I sent you this earlier, you would know that it doesn't even have a Wikipedia, and so it only has a wikivisual.com/wiki caveman TV series page.
And also, hypothetically, if you'd sent me this earlier and I didn't read that it originally aired on ABC, but I guess NBC is just bought the content. I guess they got it in some sort of bidding war where
Here's what happened. It's been a really long week, and I remembered the show while I was setting up, and I was like, oh, I know that they made Caveman. There's no fucking way that got a second season. So let's do Caveman, and I didn't look if it was ABC or not, so that's why it's here. I don't want to break tradition. I'm so tired, bud. We're in the pile. I'm so tired. I hope there's not a coup.
Yeah, me neither. That would be like
That would be
really,
real
really
bummer.
whack.
It would be real hard for me if there was a coup, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know how to shoot a gun.
No, yeah. Also, I don't know how to shoot it. Like, I think you and I talked about this because of our both undying love of Cody Shody, and that is
Yeah.
that even as far as like like an animal attack would go, I would have no idea how to defend myself.
I couldn't do it.
Luckily for me, though, I think that you and I, maybe you more than me, we have found ourselves in such a safe haven of a blue bubble. Unfortunately
fair.
for you, my blue bubble appears to be one that people are not interested in going after at all.
Yeah,
yeah.
we did have a weird internet brain poison guy blow himself up last week.
Yeah, so I'm
2 weeks
thinking
ago?
that
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think that I'm safer. But yeah, no, having a coup would be really, really terrible. But I think
It feels like maybe they won't. Here's the thing: Congress reconvened, and they're currently voting to, certify the election results and have Biden win the way he won. Who again? Also the Democrats won both Georgia, which I'm not like excited about because I like either of those people because Warnock I don't have like a specific problem with. I hate Ossoff. He seems like I don't know. He seems like a flake. I don't like him. Anyway, but now me and my leftist friends can scream at them because they have no reason to not pass things like card check or a $15 minimum wage.
Or legal weed.
Or legal weed.
Legal weed.
Honestly,
baby.
legal weed, and then retroactively expunging all the records and releasing all the people who were in jail for marijuana because it shouldn't have been
some
illegal.
Of which that our assumed vice president put there. So
No, I don't like
so,
them. But it was funny because last night when the results were coming in, Sophie and I were talking about it, and like it was this double-edged sword of like I really wanted Ossoff because Warnock was ahead, and it was like, okay, Warnock's gonna win, but Ossoff it's too close to call, and Ossoff it was like I want him to win. I fucking hate him, but I want him to win because then if he wins, I can more strategically, well, not me. The left, because it's a collective group. That's the whole bit, is that we all work together for our aims. Anyway, but the left can work together and have more leverage to pressure these people and at least maybe expose to the normies the Democrats are not your friends. That's sort of okay, well, at least, because this is what happened in the Obama years, too. The first 2 years, they had all three chambers. And, well, they had both chambers of the Senate and the presidency. And, they got Obamacare through, which was marginally good, but mostly just a big payoff to the insurance companies. They didn't do card check. They didn't do minimum wage. You know what I mean? They didn't do a bunch of shit that they should have. They didn't shut down Guantanamo Bay. They ramped up drone strikes and deportations, like bad shit. But everyone was so traumatized by the Iraq War and so sort of dumbstruck by both Obama's charisma and having the first black president, which are both good things. I guess Obama's charisma is neutral, but he's an infectious guy. I mean, don't be silly. But Biden doesn't have any of that. And people are good and fucking mad, and people are pretty mobilized from the Trump years. So there's a better chance to actually like have a mobilized left that pushes against these people. And it's like, look, man, because with Obama, it was hard to criticize him in those first couple of years. Because it was like, hey, man, this is the guy. He's hoping change. But Biden, no one feels that way. So it's like, no, fuck this guy. Hey, get the kids out of the cages, and then maybe I won't hate you. You know what I'm saying? So there's a more of an... So anyways, I see myself rooting for Ossoff, a guy I don't like, because if he wins, I can better pressure him into doing things he doesn't want to do. That I want him to do. And the reason I don't like him is because he doesn't want to do those things. So it's a weird time.
I think that's like the exact, like the same thing that is the worst part about Joe Biden is he's Joe Biden, but like the best part about Joe Biden is that we can criticize him,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can be a part. Like that's one thing that I've
Totally.
seen a lot on like, our friend who went to the college with us, who's like a righty sort of guy, and also like people that are on the conservative side.
I know
They're
the guy,
saying
yeah.
things like, oh, like you guys will never be critical of Joe Biden. It's like, brother, we're more critical of Joe Biden than you are, but we're just saying shit that's true.
I
Like,
hate
we're
Joe
not talking
Biden
like it's like
in such a deep and like
Yeah, it's-
personal way because he is also technically on the left, I guess. Like I hate him so much.
Yeah, so it's like but unlike with a split Senate, at least we can be, or with a Democrat controlled Senate, at least we can be constructive.
Yes.
And we can get to the point where like people who are so mobilized, people who care so much. I mean, like there's this one thing that has been so infuriating to watch, which is like one of the things that QAnon Trumpers are saying is that like, how could Joe possibly have gotten 81 million votes? And it's like, because we're sick of your shit.
Yeah, because we hate you guys.
It's like, how can you possibly, like, it's like, there are two possibilities. One is that there's a giant, like whatever, 81 million votes were all faked and what have you, or like your guy was such a dick that we just like, we are now the silent majority. That
somehow
in a twist of fate,
right.
the silent majority, which was on your side, has now become the loud minority,
right.
And we are now the silent majority. And yeah, like another thing was like, why are there if there's 81 million people voting for Joe, then why are none of them going to the Capitol to defend him? It's like, well, because we don't like him that much.
Yeah, because we just hate you and Trump. Yeah. And Mitch McConnell, we're mobilized by hating those people. And again, not that I don't have and you as well. Not that we don't have affirmative positions that we like and want and things that we do want to happen. But currently, like we live in this neoliberal world where like none of those things are, and none of those people are in power, and none of those things are like on the docket. So it's all opposition.
Yeah. And so I think that like when I was saying previously was that we just have the ability to criticize more. And like I don't have to be like in the same way with the Trump supporters continuously having to like coddle his ego.
Yeah.
Or just or come up with some weird ass 555 sign of the angels bullshit to like justify what he's doing.
We don't need like, QAnon. I can just dislike Joe Biden. It's fine.
I can just already dislike him. And then and he's much more malleable to pressure, or like you can just like kind of get on his case a bit more with like, hey, we want these things. And now that you have no excuses, we can watch you guys like get like kind of crumble under the weight of your own incompetence.
Right. I mean,
like,
you can,
now we have the ability to say like, okay, you guys control all the stuff. Like, let's do the things that we want. Let's do this like Green New Deal or like let's do something. At the very least, let's do something.
Well,
and then we'll get to watch for 2 years or what have you until 2024 or
2022. Oh, it's over then.
Yeah.
I mean, 2022 they're going to get washed, and the Republicans are going to take back everything and like put chips in our arms or whatever. Like it. I mean, if things go the way. If they go like the Obama years, like and just like in 2010, they're gonna get absolutely washed. Hopefully not, but you have something like what one of the most infuriating things of this last summer was, of course all the Black Lives Matters protests and the death of George Floyd. Like, I'm sorry, that's what am I trying to say? In light of all of those things, we were all wanting reform. And what we got instead was Nancy Pelosi with an African scarf kneeling at the Capitol. And it's just like, and then passing a very extensive police reform bill in the House that everyone in the world knew was never going to pass the Senate. And they could stand there and be like, look, we did it. And it's just like symbolism and symbolic. You see, I mean, people are going to trot out their resumes about what they voted for in the House. But it's like, yeah, but you voted for those things in the House knowing for a fact that they would never get through the Senate. And if you knew that they could actually become law, you might have voted differently. Now that's not the situation. And now you can call their bluff a little bit and be like, hey, we still do want that police reform. and they don't have Mitch McConnell as kind of a safety blanket to be like, we would give you those things. We're good guys, we promise, but we can't because Mitch McConnell won't let us. And it's like, no, you got 50-50 in the Senate, and Kamala Harris is the tiebreaker. So if you actually care about this stuff, and that's why I think the left needs to become much more vocal in these things. Like, if you actually care about this stuff, vote on it. Like force a vote for Medicare for all. Force a vote for card check, because they're fake. They're ingenuine in their support of the working class and marginalized groups, I believe. And this is a chance to really pressure that and point it out and say, no, these people are not your friends. And maybe they are, and we'll get everything we want, and hooray, hooray. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I also think that same way, because, like, you know, in like all you need to point to is that weird moment when Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer wore African garb.
So weird.
And it was just like, did that in the face of the Black Lives Matter movement. And it was just like, what?
Not helping, guy.
Like, what?
Because,
like,
right,
what?
the
we didn't ask for that.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, oh, but we tried to pass it in the House. Like, hey, why don't you call for more protests? Why don't you call for people in the streets? You know, say, show up to your representative's office and scream at them. Like, why don't you actually call for things that pressure people to make the, like, if you, what makes me so mad about this last year and since 2008 or 2010, when they lost the Senate, what has made me so frustrated is that the line has just been like, well, all we can do is these votes, and we can't get these votes, so I don't know, nothing can happen. And it's like, if you all really cared about this, you would be doing something to make it happen.
Yeah, and they're gonna be doing the line of, like, because you can already see it with the way that Joe is talking. We have to reach across the aisle. Like how would we be as a country if, like, we just put through all if we just put through all the things that we want, and it was like, you'd be just like them. Yeah, we'd be correcting the mistakes of, like, the previous thing, or, like, we'd actually be, like, instead of the Republican Party, like, we'd be doing something.
Well, that's
like,
the thing.
Do something.
That would require actually having a political project and an actual idea of change, because, right, like, that doesn't make any sense if you have an ideology. If you actually have beliefs and goals, it doesn't make any sense to be like, well, yeah, we could score a touchdown, but, you know, the other team scored a touchdown, and we don't want to be like the other team and score a touchdown, so we'll just go to the 30-yard mark, and that's good enough. I mean, we really
don't
tried.
want them to be mad at us.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, don't you want to win? Like, that's how you win. Like, don't you believe in these things? If you believe in, like, again, that's what's so crazy is people, when they talk about, I have a friend who I like very much and actually respect his opinion, but he's much more libertarian, and, you know, we'll talk about it, and he'll say, like, well, you know, we go from one extreme to the other. And you know, I always say, it's like, well, yeah, but one extreme is good and the other extreme is evil. I'm fine with actually ending on one of those extremes. You know what I mean? If the two sides are good and evil, I actually don't mind swinging to the extreme. And again, look, guys, I don't think that the left is perfect, and I certainly have my criticisms. I don't think it's like ultimate good and ultimate evil. But the idea that, like, well, we don't want to be as extreme as the Republicans, like, why? They're getting everything they want. They're achieving their political project, which the Republicans, to their credit, have. I just think that political project is evil. And the Democrats have a political project as well, but it's neoliberalism and this kind of global market that makes the elites more rich and throws the working class under the bus. Like, they have a project, but it's the consolidation of power to the capitalist class, and I'm not in the capitalist class, so I'm in the work. For those to clarify, I'm in the working class. You, listener, are probably also in the working class because you sell your labor for money. You don't buy people's labor and then take the surplus money that comes from. You don't give somebody $1. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they do work and that makes $10 for the company. I keep 9 of it, they keep 1 of it. That's the capitalist class. The working class are people who say, I have skills and I sell my labor to you for money, right? Just a little clarification, because I don't think, we're not a politics podcast, so if it's not clear on the terminology. Yeah, that's the Democrats' project is enriching the capitalist class, which I'm not a part of. So and the only way to enrich that class is to take money and opportunity away from the working class, which I'm a part of. So I don't really like that. I think that's actually bad for me, and I don't want it. Which is the project of the left, is to help the working class, right? That's what DSA and other organizations like it are trying to do. $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all, card check, unions, those sort of things help the working class and hurt the capitalist class. And again, if you're a part of the working class, you should want those things.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the pile.
So did you know that Nick Kroll was in Cavemen?
I did know that.
That's kind of wild.
I did know that. We can save Cavemen for some other time.
Yeah, no, he looks like a caveman kind of already. So
Apparently
that makes...
Yeah.
Like, at least, like, he's, that, I mean, not to say he looks like a caveman, but, kind of the transformation, like, I can tell it's him.
Do you see they never released the pilot because it was apparently super racist? It wasn't super racist, but, like, they were...
It was super racist in that it was it was against the Homo sapiens.
Well,
whatever.
Neanderthals. No, actually, yeah. You know how Bright is racist because it's like... the orcs are the black people.
Yeah.
The Neanderthals are the black people. It's not good, according to the article that I sent you. They're just like, yeah, it really conflates being a Neanderthal with being African American or other minority group. The experience of being Neanderthal is the experience of being black.
Yeah, and it's like it's so trying to be woke that it misses the point entirely. Like, and it's just like, see, we understand what it's like, and it's like, so you are admitting there is race problems in America. It's like, no.
Yes, and they're like cavemen with little brains.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
That's no good, boss. I don't know. I haven't seen the show, but that's what the article says, is that it conflates or draws a lot of parallels between the experience of cavemen, and it's basically an analogy for the experience of black people in America, and it's no good, boss.
Oh man, that is so damn funny.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. All right, you want to close us out?
Sure. Well, anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Get Better. You can find us on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. That's at Get_Better_Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube at Get Better Podcast, where you can see clips as well as the full episodes of our show, where you can send them around. Please continue to search us on Spotify, and please continue to rate and review us on iTunes if that's the way you're getting to us. And, tweet at us. I don't think we have a Twitter, so I don't know why I said that.
We do not.
I can certainly set one of those up, possibly.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
But any other way that you can get in contact with us, please do. You can also reach us at meetthefockers2, fockedup@gmail.com. That is meetthefockers2, fockedup@gmail.com.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to our incredibly weird episode, hanging out here in the pile with us. We'll be more prepared next week. It's just been a hell of a week, and we have been
a hell of a
busy.
Day specifically.
So, yeah, well, thanks for sticking to the end of the episode, and we'll come up with something else for next week.
Oh, man. Well.
All right.
See you, bye forever.